How to use deep human psychology to reach any goal. In our modern world, many people struggle to really reach their goals and stay consistent with the actions that actually lead to their desired outcome. And part of this, I believe, is due to the fact that so many of our basic needs are met, and we live in such a modern, convenient world that rarely are we actually avoiding physical pain and danger, but rather we're just pursuing a better life or more favorable outcomes. And since many of us are not running away from lions and tigers, and we're not on the brink of dying from starvation, we have to get more creative when it comes to reaching our goals sometimes. And if you're watching this video, that's probably you, it may seem almost impossible to stick to a plan that you set out for yourself. Maybe this is going to the gym X amount of times per week, sleeping consistently every night, following a specific eating pattern or a diet, or studying, maybe reading 10 pages of book, etc. Whatever it may be, it seems like no matter what you try, you just can't seem to get yourself to actually stay consistent and stick to the plan without failing. You might do it for a week or two, but inevitably what always happens is you fall off, you sink back into your old ways, and then obviously you don't get to your goal. You never seem to reach the desired outcome because you couldn't be consistent with the steps for long enough that lead to the outcome. Or maybe you do a decent job at following through once you get started, but you just can't seem to take the first step and start something new because it just seems too difficult or it just seems like too much effort. Now, a huge reason that this keeps happening to you is because there's no painful consequences for failing. It's like, whatever, oh, I failed, whatever, I guess I'll just keep being average. But it's like, sure, maybe it's painful or it's demotivating to not hit your goal, but ultimately the sting isn't bad enough to have kept you steady and persevering, like even when things got hard. So what I have found as an amazing way to combat this and to stick to not only your goals, but more importantly, the daily or weekly action steps that lead you to your goal, is you must attach a negative consequence to yourself for missing action items or falling short of your commitments. Now, these negative consequences need to be something painful. They need to be embarrassing or very undesirable to the point at which you'll be so motivated to avoid this consequence that you will stick to your commitment by any means necessary. Loss aversion is the theory that humans will go farther and be more motivated to avoid pain than they will be to pursue pleasure. Specifically, people prefer to avoid a loss instead of acquiring an equivalent gain. For example, in general, people will be more bothered and they'll go farther out of their way to avoid losing $100 than they would be to get excited for and actually put effort towards gaining $100. So because we know this is a well-studied psychological theory of human nature, we can use this to our advantage. I'm gonna break this down entirely, but one of the best ways that I can illustrate how well this works is to tell you my own story very quickly about how I use this and how I stumbled upon the technique. So about a year ago, I told myself that I wanted to start making content on social media. I was living with my best friend at the time, and he knew that I wanted to start posting content as well. So a couple weeks went by from the time that I had told him I was gonna start posting videos, and I had yet to post a single video. So he literally looked at me one day and said, "Hey dude, like, I know you said you wanted to start posting content and you haven't posted anything yet. Like, what's up with that?" And I immediately started hemming and hawing, like, "Oh, you know, well, I was trying this and I thought maybe at first I would do this and yada, yada, yada." He cut me off. After a couple sentences, he just stops me, immediately smelling my bullshit. And he goes, "Dude, like, here's what's gonna happen. Let's make a deal. It's gonna help you." I said, "All right, let's do it." He goes, "All right, what's gonna happen is you're going to commit to me and to yourself to posting at least one Instagram reel every single day for the next 30 days straight. If you even miss a single day, I am going to go on TikTok and find the gayest and silliest trending dance that I can find, and you're gonna film yourself doing the dance and post it on Instagram." And my eyes literally lit up because I immediately recognized how powerful this experiment was gonna be, and I jumped at the opportunity. I was just like, deal. Can you guess what happened? If you said you posted on social media for the next 30 days straight, you are correct. And not only did I post at least once every day, but after just 2 weeks, I had hired a social media agency to help me, and I was ramped up to posting 2 to 3 times per day on every single social media platform. So you could say that this works. And not only that, but I've used this same method and tactic to get my clients, my friends, and even people in my family to follow through on their commitments with an almost perfect success rate. So to clarify, what you do is you create a scenario in which you attach something negative, and honestly, the more negative the consequence, the better that this will work. And you attach this negative consequence to yourself if you fail on what you set out to do. Now, obviously this works a lot better if you have someone else in your life that can be sort of like the gameskeeper, if you will, and is the one who's actually serving you the punishment or holding you accountable. So don't just find anyone, but you wanna find someone like a friend, a roommate, mentor, family member, significant other, etc. But the key here though, is you must choose someone that will be ruthless in their execution and is not going to settle for your mediocrity and is not going to let you off the hook if you fail. If you choose someone that doesn't really care about you and therefore doesn't care about holding your feet to the fire, then this whole thing is not going to work. And to take it one step further, here's another super important element that you cannot forget to leave out. To do this, you essentially have two different ways you can go about it, and one way is significantly more powerful and effective than the other. Let me illustrate this. So let's go back to my story, which was actually the less effective of the two ways. Because the deal was, if I were to fail, I would then need to film myself doing a TikTok dance, right? But what's the issue with this? Can you guess? The issue is that if I really didn't want to do the dance and I just bitched out, I didn't hold up my end of the bargain and just said, yeah, you know, I failed, but I'm just not gonna post the dance. That's silly, that's stupid, that's embarrassing, not gonna happen. Then unfortunately, like not much does happen. I mean, what's my friend gonna do? Is he gonna like force me to do the dance? Like, what's he gonna do? Like fucking attach strings to my arms and legs and play me like a puppet and film me doing some dance? No, of course not. So the way that you make this more powerful is you must relinquish control of the negative consequence. For example, let's say in another scenario, I'm the gameskeeper. I'm the one that's holding my friend accountable, let's say to stop drinking alcohol for 30 days as a challenge. And we'll say this particular friend in the made up scenario has been spending the last 2 years building an Instagram account from scratch, and he's managed to get 40,000 organic followers. The way that I could remove his ability to get out of the punishment is I have him give me his Instagram login, and instead of making a dance or making him do some, weird act that I have no control over, I say, if you drink any of the days during this 30-day window, I have your password and I'm just gonna delete your Instagram forever. Sound a little bit harsh? Exactly. That's the fucking point. Now you're getting it. It's really important to consider that when you're deciding for yourself or you're deciding for a friend or whoever it is that you're trying to keep accountable, you must really understand what motivates them or what motivates you. For example, money is an easy one that everybody understands. However, not everybody is money motivated. For example, if I try to attach a monetary punishment to someone that isn't money motivated, or maybe let's say is like a millionaire, and maybe my only punishment was taking $100 from him, it's not gonna be that effective. But if I have someone who is super money motivated and they're really strapped for cash, maybe like taking $100 from them is exactly the fire under his ass that he needs. See how it works? So while money is an easy one, it may be far more effective to attach something embarrassing, shameful, fear-based, super gross, scary, etc. Like, I think you get the point. You gotta be creative and you gotta understand what would suck bad enough for the person or for yourself that you would stick to your commitment by any means necessary in order to avoid the punishment. All right, cool. So it's important to remember, guys, that this type of stuff isn't necessarily a long-term strategy, and it might seem really extreme for you, right? But part of the reason that I use something so extreme is because sometimes the hardest part is just getting started, just taking that first step, going to the gym for the first time, placing the first order for your healthy meals, posting the first video online, etc. You get the point. When it came to my situation, it was exactly that. Just posting the first video was the hardest part, and that's what the system solved. 2 weeks in, I had the motivation to ramp it up and start over delivering on my promise. And guess what? I haven't stopped posting content ever since. And you might be asking yourself, well, Cooper, like, why does that have to be so extreme? Why do you have to be so extra to reach your goal? And I would say, if you don't want average results, you can't take an average approach. So get creative. Do whatever you need to do by any means necessary. I mean, would it be ideal or would it be best if you didn't need to do any of this? Of course, 100%. If you had all the intrinsic motivation in the world, you had ironclad discipline, and you never wavered from your goals, then that's fucking amazing. That'd be great. But if you're watching this video, it's probably not the case. And unless you're some AI bot or from another planet, you're also probably human, and that's just part of who we are sometimes, all right? So I hope you thoroughly enjoyed watching this video as much as I thoroughly enjoyed making it for you. Start using this in your everyday life, use it to push past plateaus and kick your ass into gear. And if you need a buddy to hold you accountable and you wanna get new results in your life and in your health, and you wanna improve your energy, body composition, or your testosterone, I'm happy to be that accountability partner that you need. So you can book a call with me down below, see the link in the description. We can chat about whether or not it makes sense to partner up on your health journey, all right? That's gonna be it for today. I will catch you on the next one. Peace out.